And we're back. August 25th. I'm an idiot, dude. It's been a long, long summer. And, man, some goofiness helps me just relax a little bit. Gosh, it's not the same coming on here because, you know, how far we've taken things. But it does feel good to come on here and hang out a little bit every once in a while and goof off. And I'm glad to see everybody. What's up? So another week down. Boy, were the last few days wild. We saw the breakout coming. We saw the candles happen. And it kept going over the weekend. Let's talk about it. Welcome. Not financial advice. To Charts After Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. Jesus Christ, what am I doing? There. Now you can go. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. Now you can go hit like. Oh, I'm an idiot, dude.
Come on, man.
While you're there, subscribe. It costs nothing to hit the subscribe button. $3. Notification bell so you don't miss anything. Look at that double intro. Perfect. That's what happens when you hit the wrong button. I have a stream deck over here, and I've rearranged the buttons ever so slightly. And I hit the wrong button. You'll have that on those big jobs. Have all kind of other buttons though, like
Damn.
And then in 1 week, but it's not there yet. So anyway, let's start with Bitcoin, because what I'm going to try to do this whole stream is the top 15. I want to go through the top 15 coins that we've got and sort of work our way through here. Let's start with the timestamps. That was 10 intro. And we're doing BTC at 12:05. And of course my pen giving clean out on me. But I'll just make hieroglyphics down here with scratch marks if I have to. It's fine. Everything's fine. What's up, Belgalian? Good to see you, brother. Shout out to Matt. Busted in the chat. Shout out to Charts Can't Lie. Shout out Brother Beal. Good to see you, fellas. If you haven't done so, man, drop a comment in the thing and let us know where you're watching from. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. I interact with everybody in the chat. If I miss you, I apologize. I always try to talk to everybody I can see. So first things first, obviously the breakout, and it held up really, really, really high. Now it is worth noting that we are running into resistance right through here. Yeah, you can see it from back in March 2025, and we have some down here from the end of 2025, and our previous high is up here from May earlier this year, 2026. You can sort of draw a resistance line right about there and say, hey, let's do an orange. That's resistance. It doesn't want to get through it. It's having a hard time. It's not the end of the world. This happens when you come into resistance lines, but in order to prove it, what you've got to do is sort of flip it over the resistance line, hold it for a week or two, and then back test and go. It's what didn't happen down here. It did not jump the zone and then back test and then go. It didn't do any of that. It just immediately went straight up. And I know it feels good in the moment for the things to go up like that, but they're unsustainable. We've talked about that a million times. And we have plenty of evidentiary charts to show that you don't want that kind of price action. You want it to be more smooth, steady, just like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, or the Dow Jones. When they fall, they don't fall as rapidly because they have far more support, because the chart was far more steady, smooth, and honestly more predictable on an upward path, right? You don't want to see that snappy price action on a long-term scale. Daily, okay, even that much. If you have 4 hour, 2 hour, you're going to see snappy stuff there. But on a week, and you want to see this thing take its time and go smooth through it. Not only is it hitting resistance, but if I keep it on the weekly here and turn on our moving averages, you'll see we've made a perfect touch of that 50 weekly moving average. I mean, it went up and chef's kiss that bad baby. Rolled back since then, and it's playing around with that resistance line still. We'd prefer to see it break that 50 weekly moving average. It didn't. Not the end of the world. It may take some time. And by taking time, what I mean is after that abrupt of a move up, a slowdown, you hit the 50, made a move up, slow down, and you hesitate for a few weeks, figuring out whether you actually want to make a push through this or if you're just going to hit and reject and get weak. Now, I expect hit, reject, and get weak, right? And then we'll see from there. Is it ever going to get back down to 60,000 or 57,000 again? Tough to say. This was a very, very sharp move. That being said, this was a sharp move. That being said, this was a sharp move. And look what they both did. They both really, really let you down. Both were very, very deflating afterwards. If I take all the indicators off and I just look at this from a price action standpoint, here's the spooky stuff, all right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. This thing could get way worse. And I know that doesn't seem like a possibility because, what's up, Cheese? Good to see you. No, it doesn't seem like a possibility, but it can happen. Until this thing clears the previous high, it's making a lower high, and it could very well be making a very, very gnarly shoulder over here that could really, really let the air out of the ball. I don't want to see that happen, but it's fully possible. And also, pick it a step farther. Shoulder, head, shoulder. You typically have two drops, one, back test two. It could very well be over, right? But you've got to get through this neckline to prove it. Prove it by getting through. Once you get through, things change. It's right there on the verge. And I told everybody on the weekly roundup, we do a weekly roundup in our Discord every single week on Sunday afternoon. When the market opens for the new week, we look at things, we go back and backtrack, and we see what's coming up the next week. What's up, Rob? Good to see you, brother. We go back and look and try to get a feel for what's coming up in the next week. And I said, hey, if we see this thing hold up for Monday and Tuesday, well, that may open up the rest of the week for more green. If we see it slow down on Monday and Tuesday, it seems like that's going to consolidate it over and pull it back down. We saw a good day yesterday, followed by a pretty gnarly day today that just ended. That's a rough looking candle after a big run up with a very, very, very smoking hot RSI. Obviously oversold, overbought. When you have oversold, you think about buying. When you have overbought, you think about, you got it, selling. Right? That's also known as getting your profits. This just in, folks. If you don't get your profits, someone else will get them for you. So I encourage you, get some profits. You don't have to take a lot. Take a little. Take it all. Do what you think you need to do. All right? Okay, so it's still over all the daily moving averages, and you're getting a 5100 pretty aggressive hook right here. That's not a bad thing. The 21 is through the 200. It never back tested the 200. That bothers me. I think it does need to back test that, and that's all the way back down to 70,000 for sure. The question is, will that be the end of it once it gets back down to 70, or is it going to fail and get more miserable and cut through this mess right here, or do we just test this mess and come back down here toward our green box? That's a long way back down, and don't say it can't do it, because that's exactly what happened before, all right? Just highlighted that a moment ago. You had a very, very sharp run up, and then pew, back down she came, right? Sharp run up, back down she came. Steady move up, back down she came. It can happen, and I don't want you to be unprepared for it, right? Stay focused and locked in. Is there hidden bullish divergence? Sure, you could possibly say that, but be careful. It's not hidden. That's pretty clearly an RSI on the weekly on the rise, all right? And then your price also on the rise. That's just bullish divergence. Problem is it's still a lower high. You need to break that lower high to create a breakout. It's close. 50 moving average is in the way, and then beyond that, you still have the 100 moving average above that to kind of slow it down even further. Here are your pivot points. You did get back over S1. That's a good thing. Hold on to that. You see S1 was at 76,255. It's great that it got over that. Hold on to it. Let's go with the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly. Here's a dud, right? Ichimoku cloud is still in the way. The lag line has jumped over the candles. That's a good thing. And the baseline and conversion line are trying to cross. That's a good thing. But your cloud is still very, very red on the end. So the weekly isn't much help on that one. And your weekly MACD, we didn't look at that, but that is very aggressively sweeping up. You're starting to get to some divergence here. As long as it can stay steady, it can continue to go up. And if that's the case, you continue to see more buy volume than sell volume. That's going to be predicated on whether or not we break through that previous high. I've got my eyes on it. Hope you've got your eyes on it. Let's do Bitcoin dominance real quick, and then we'll jump to the rest of them. Here's the problem. Said this before, but when the Bitcoin price rises and Bitcoin dominance goes up, this is a Bitcoin dominated move. If Bitcoin goes up and Bitcoin dominance goes down, well, then you're going to get altcoins making a move. If Bitcoin price goes down and dominance goes down, everything goes down. Here we have Bitcoin up, Bitcoin dominance up. That tells us that all the other altcoins are just playing follow the leader here. And if that's the case, that's not a bull run. That's a Bitcoin run with everything else playing caboose. Not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's not quite what you need. I like the short-term breakout. I've seen this before. It's trying to get over the weekly 100 moving average. Nice. Get the resistance and prove it. Here's your Ichimoku cloud. It just recently broke through the Ichimoku cloud. And if you don't know what Bitcoin dominance is, this is sort of a measure of the amount of money that's in Bitcoin versus everything else. 60.25% of all dollars in crypto are in one asset, and that's Bitcoin. Others like Binance Coin, they are 3%. Doge is 0.5%. Ethereum is 11%. I believe XRP is hovering around 3.5. Yep, 340. Right, so there are many of them, and they all share the 100%. The big dog is Bitcoin, 60%. And as long as this continues to go up while price goes up, you're going to see everything else play follow the leader. Hold on a second, everybody. Where's Thurman? Good to see you, brother.
Damn. Bruh.
Where you been?
Bloody fuck you, bloody.
Good to see you, Thurm the Worm. Long time watcher, bro. Thurman's been around since, 2019. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Good to see you, my guy. I like to shout out the original OGs, man. Some of these guys in the chat, some of these guys watching have been around for almost 8 years. And that's crazy to think about. And I appreciate everybody watching. I really do. So let's get to the rest of the top 15. I go 2305 is going to be ETH. And here we go. Ethereum. Weekly, you broke the 236, 382. Running and working. I get it, guy. Bro, Josh, what's up, my guy? Cycling cotton.
Damn. Bruh.
Where you been, my guy? Good to see you. Probably putting out fires like me, only not in real life. You do it in real life. I like the move through the 236. I like the move through the 382. Great problem. You're running into a roadblock called the 200 moving average and the 50 moving average on the weekly and the 100 moving average, all in the way of advance here. I like the fact that it did technically make a new weekly high right here. You see that? Great. So far, this has scraped the high. Now, if you were doing Forex, it just isn't Forex, this pattern that we see here would be a short pattern. When you have multiple levels of lower highs after a hard aggressive run up, you short this. You short this. And your stop loss would be the previous high. That would be my stop loss. And my entry would be, well, really, breaking this range right here, which is, there's a very, very tight little range right there. You would stop loss here. So this would be your SL. And this would be my entry. Right? And I'd look to take profits down here somewhere. Right? That's Larry Williams 101, folks. And you're going to watch that and go, oh, who's Larry Williams? Google him. And then after that, you're going to find out that everybody has copied his style as far as the way fair value gaps. And it's not really fair value gaps. They're just basic price action. Larry Williams figured this stuff out a long time ago and became a Forex legend from it. But that would be a short pattern that I'd be looking for. That means, if that's the case on the daily, should have some back down in the other direction, correct? Huge overbought. That has slowed down some, so that's a little bit of a warning flare. If this continues to do this and the price holds up, it's going to take another shot up. That's the warning on the taking profits and having a stop loss when you have these entries, right? You have a stop loss and it clicks, that's it. You're out. That's the whole purpose of having a stop loss. If you don't use it, you will lose your money. The daily divergence is starting to close up a little bit here. We've started to lose some of our buy volume. But we are still trending up on the MACD, and after such a long time underneath, that's a good thing. You're still over all the pivot points on the daily. The weekly Ichimoku cloud is really no help. Weekly pivots, you're still way under the weekly pivot, and S1 and pivot are really, really wide here. So at worst, I think some down, at best sideways. Either isn't terrible after that abrupt of a move up. Probably needs to chill and breathe a second. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world. 26. 30 is going to be Binance Coin. All right, Binance Coin weekly. Similar story to ETH, but not quite as good. It didn't quite kick that high out. Came very, very close. Well, you might could say that you swept the high with those wicks right there. Cleared out all of these shorts that had piled in by coming up here and kicking their stop losses. Remember I said you'd look for that high? There you go. That's sort of a stop loss wipe or a long wipe or liquidity sweep, whatever you want to call it. Get those longs out, and then they'll take another try here and see if they prevail or not. We have a short-term uptrend. Pretty obvious. Here's the daily short-term uptrend that we got going. As long as you're above this line, all is technically okay. You have a lot of support with moving averages. They're all down here curling up together. Your 821 still way up there extended. This is what makes me think we're going to get some slowdowns, right? All those moving averages are support, and they're way down low below the price. Need some time to catch up. And if they can't catch up in time, well, the price sort of starts to match it back. That doesn't mean that everything's over, but it does mean some cool-offs would be in order. And we are approaching the end of the month. I think if we're going to get the cool-offs, that's when they're going to start. And then we'll see how September rolls in. It's been brutal August, every bear market. And then we've had a good one this time, right? We flip this thing to the monthly, you'll see what I mean. It's been a really good month for Binance Coin. Almost a bullish engulfing. Pretty close. It could get to the point where it gets above that. And if it can get above that, then we can see about making another run up. This has been one of the better performers. I hate to go throwing money at one of the front runners, but you got to admit it's done pretty well. Is it going to slow down and go sideways? I do think so. Are we going to have some aggressive down? I wouldn't expect some aggressive down, but some back down in the previous direction to do some back testing does make some sense here. 28.36, call it 28.40 is going to be the greatest digital asset ever created. XRP. My goodness, what an absolute ripper this thing has done, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days straight of action, just nonstop action, crazy wicks. And the interesting thing is, this wick was on every exchange, so it's more indicative that it might have been actual true price action. You step it out a little bit here on the weekly, get a little bit better feel for what's going on. She's playing around with this trend line. That is the overall downtrend for the entire bear market. It does this every summer of every bear market. In fact, it plays around with the 50 moving average. I specifically talked about this on last stream. I'm going to do it again. 50 moving average weekly touch. 4 years ago, nearly to the day. Right over here, not quite to the day. Big run up toward the 50, didn't quite get there, got stuck under the 200 moving average. That was more in September than August, but again, 2022 bear market. Scroll back a little bit, Mo. Here's 2018, nearly to the day. Big aggressive move up, tags the 50 moving average, and then gets stuck for the rest of the bear market, going dead sideways. And I can go all the way back to the previous one before that. You get the idea. It's a very, very similar price action that it does in the middle of the bear market, especially around the summer. This is why I had this little green circle highlighted as a potential popping point. And sure enough, it got to it. Now, it overran it. I will gladly admit that it overran it. And when you overrun a target like this, it's all good. You're taking profits. So it's a good time to be wrong. Problem. Can this thing maintain? I want you to notice 200 moving average trending that way. 150 moving average trending that way. 821 moving average, very, very wide divergence and starting to curl overwards a little bit. If that's the case, price comes up, hesitates, and goes right over here to my circle like I expected all along. Now, it happened a little sooner than I thought it would. Very aggressively. I didn't expect that. I thought we would get something smooth, like that. Didn't happen. It just went straight up. Again, that kind of exaggerated price action kind of sucks. I know it feels good at the moment, but it sucks because it has to come back and back test these points that it missed. Just the way it is. That's the way price action works. The bulls want to see proof. The bears want to test you. And it's the same way in the middle of the bear market. The bears want to see proof and the bulls want to test you. Got a bull test here. They did pretty darn well for us, almost a solid week. But you got super overextended on your RSI. It has slowed down a good bit. That's good. It did break its obvious little downtrend that it had right there. Here's your MACD. Big divergence still playing out. You're losing vol volume on that. Pivot points are over all of them. It blew right through them. And you will get new pivot points at the end of the month. Ichimoku cloud is 4 out of 4. Very thin cloud. That's sketchy. Again, that lines up with my theory that we do something like this, right? And it comes over here and cuts back through the cloud at the very, very thin point of the cloud where there's not very much support. This isn't to talk bad about XRP. I'm very, very happy it did well. I got 2 rounds of profits on this one. Not even complaining a little bit. Made good money on it. I'm aware that other people got some profits. That makes me the utmost happy. Keep your eyes on it. It could very well keep going. I doubt it. And by saying keep going, I mean make a new high. We may see some green here. It's still playing around with this trend line, and it's actually lining up very, very accurately to what I thought it may. A little bit faster than I expected, but I like the game that's being played here. We're playing ball finally. We'll be back to watch it again Thursday, so I'm going to keep track of this. You guys keep track of it too. All right, sweet. The flip of the switch has happened. I hear your butt.
Wrong.
All right, Solana. That's going to be 33. All right, Solana, very similar to some other ones here. Scrolling back, it did get stuck in range. It bounced off the 50 fib. It goes all the way up to the 382. And as you see, this is the second week in a row. It's having a hard time breaking out over that 382 fib. It's sort of stuck in the range here. Back and forth it goes. Breakout for me. Hasn't done it yet. It's a little sketchy because of that. Similar story with the daily price action. I appreciate the new high that we got, right? Here was your previous high. Then you had a low. And then you had a higher low. And this means we need to make a higher high. Then we need to make another higher low over here somewhere. If that's the case, hold on to the trend over here till we get one more move for September. Velo could move here maybe. Yeah, possibly, but being in the middle of the bear market, I really don't trust low caps. What's up, Papa Bear? Good to see you, brother. What's up, Soda? 8 years is a while. Good to see you, my friend. The lines are close. Yeah, I get it. Be careful, be wary. Low cap stuff, super risky during the middle of a bear market. Now, they do have better gains. I'll admit it. Super risky, though. Sol did sweep the high. I will happily admit that. That means it nuked up all those longs that had, all those shorts that had came in right there. Wiped them and swiped them. I appreciate that. Now what? You're going to stick up here or are you going to break the range and keep going? One of those two would be fine. Problem what happens is when you start to fade back just a little bit and you lose your moving averages, you lose that 821. Look how steep those moving averages are. Just sort of like Ethereum, sort of like Binance Coin, sort of like some others. Hold the trend line. Cool. Fail the trend line. We're talking dirt. And I want you to look at the dates here, right? Here's October. Here's November. Here's December. You could fail this trend line over here somewhere, right? Fail this trend line, find your low by the end of the year, and off you go. You could hold sideways here by the end of the year and then go up from there. You can't really see that. There you go. You can go up from there. I think one of those few things is going to happen. And again, we're slowly narrowing our days down here on how many more days we got left in this bear market, a little bit at a time. We're almost already in September. That means we only have a few months of this left. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. Breathe easy, relax, and don't let the market trip you up. All right. We also have a death cross coming on the weekly for Solana. Very aggressive 50 and 200 moving average cross downward. 35.55 is going to be TRX. Got to go a little quicker here if we're going to get through some more of these. I get to yapping, brah, saying hey to everybody. And again, we'll get back to 1 hour streams, when we get back to our bull market. We'll do way more time then. But weekly here for Tron, for TRX, looks like we got a bearish engulfing happening, even though we're over the 8 EMA and we're still over the daily trend line. And here's our daily trend line. That was a very, very aggressive rejection yesterday for TRX. But again, you're still over your support. Aggressive failure, but back to support. Can you hang on? As long as it holds onto the trend line, it's all right. Right? As long as it holds onto the trend line, it's all right. Fail this trend line, it gets ugly. Would line up for the end of the year, though. And remember, the TRX has been one of the better performing ones along with Binance Coin. Here's the real smoking gun, though. This joker right here. All right, that's down. Hype has been an absolute animal, dude. And it just keeps eating up order blocks. Every time some shorts come in, it just gobbles them right back up. Pause. Big downtrend. Obviously, we did break that. Snap up. We're over the 1 fib. If I look all the way back here, we're over the 1 fib at $77. I re-pulled these fibs to the top over here and to the bottom, and I tried to catch the price action the best I could with my little trend line right there. This to me looks like it's still got legs to get to 85 to 86. We're only at 81 right now. Incredible run. Look at the weekly. What looked like it was going to slow down has now thrown a bunch of buy pressure, and this is a little bit of a sketchy candle. That could be a potential reversal right there, but it hasn't yet. And because of that, there's still time this week for this thing to push up here and flip another green candle in there. What a ride by Hype. Easily one of the best performing cryptos in the market. Can't say anything bad about it. I always keep it real here, right? No matter what. Hype, also super overbought. 81 on the RSI, you fell back, but you're still overbought and still hanging tough. You've lost some buy pressure, but still smoothed up. There is a good bit of divergence here on your MACD lines. Closing back up on them some wouldn't be the end of the world so long as we don't cross back over. If that happens, well, then that means we're not getting to that 85 level. And man, this thing looks like it's on a damn hunt for that upper level. So I kind of expect it to keep going. It's impressive, dude. 38.50 will be Dogecoin. All right. So same story here that Solana had for Doge. Bottom of the zone, top of the zone. You can see them right there. Hit the zone, faded very aggressively, has not broken out of it. Not only that, but you hit the 200, now you're back underneath it. This could show us what price action is going to happen for a lot of other ones. Get hung up and fall over, or show some power, get back over that 200 moving average, jump and go. That would clear the 236, get us back over 10 cent, and could put Doge in a path to doing much better. Prove it to me. Weekly did break the 821. Now it's trying to go back underneath the 21. I'd rather wait on this one than make a big risk. Do what you want to do, though. Look at this heifer. This is Rain, a recent addition to the top 25. Look at the candle it threw yesterday. I think at one point it was up 40%. 36.5. Okay, close enough. Ends up with a very good candle regardless. That's a new all-time high. A breakout through the downtrend line. 821 EMA, 50, 100 moving average. It's blown through them all. 200 is way down there. What an absolute ripper in the middle of a bear market. These are the exceptions. These are not the rule. And that's why I'm not fooling around with it. I'll just chart it. It's already too far gone past for me to want to chase it. The market cap's already gotten way too high. I'll move on to something else. Yes, there could be gains there. But for me, it's too risky. So I simply say nay. Impressive price action, though. You can't deny it. 40.50. We're going to go to ZEC. All right. ZEC is similar to hype on an absolute rip. All the way up to the 1414 take profit fib. Impressive. It's still over the AEMA. And while it fell under the 1272 fib, it's still got legs if it wants to hold on here to try to get some more. Weekly, bit of a rejection. Still over support, though. So as long as it can stay over support, stay over the daily AEMA, there's a good possibility this could keep going. Fell in the AEMA on the daily. Failing that back toward the 21 EMA to me signals that it wants to slow down, but it's a long way from that. So let's wait for this one on Thursday and see if it changes because, man, again, not the rule, the exception, but worth discussing regardless. XMR, riding the AEMA like an absolute pro. 6 weeks in a row, green, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and working on our 7th. Wow, look at that. Just steady, smooth up, much more controlled and paced than what you saw a lot of the other price action board being very, very snappy. This one's much more smooth and more broad on the way up, and it's more controlled. And because of that, it tends to hold on a little bit better. Now, this could still happen. You know what I mean? This is why I hate doing this stuff in the middle of the bear market, looking at these altcoins. But it's worth talking about. All your moving averages have swept up. You're still over the 8. You continue to hold on to it. As long as this continues to hold the 8 EMA and continues to work steady up like this, I can't say anything bad about it. Impressive. XMR gets forgotten about, but it's been around a really long time and still holding tough. A couple more here, and then we'll be out of here. Pen's dying again. Sorry, heifer. ADA. Here's ADA weekly. She broke the 21 just like a couple others. Now it's fading back under the 21. 200 MA rejection, just like Dogecoin. Was trying to hold, then it fell underneath. It's the opposite of what you want to see. It better hold on to this AEMA because if it doesn't, well, then she's coming back down here to have a nice rowdy back test. Be careful. It can slip away very, very quickly. And then my pen comes back alive. I just need to start buying better pens. What it all comes down to. Yeah, I know this stupid song. Chainlink. Still over the AEMA. Can't deny it. Beautiful move up. A little bit more controlled than other ones, but still pretty darn snappy when you scroll out onto the weekly. And just like Ethereum, if that Ethereum moving averages were kind of catching and holding the weekly price action, what's the exact same thing for Link? That weekly 50 moving average straight up, absolute Bo Jackson stiff arm. Derrick Henry, nope, you're not going anywhere. And for that reason, I got to be more careful than I want to be. $10, $10.70 seems like a fair point for this thing to come back to and retest, which is at the previous highs. I did draw this box right here as a resistance box, and it blew right through it. That very well could become a support box back to around $10 even. One more. That will be Old Faithful XLM. XLM on the daily looked fair, jumped over the 200 moving average and was back testing it. But at the close of the bell yesterday at 8 p.m., which was today at 8 p.m., she failed the the trend line. She failed the trend line, failed the 100 moving average, failed the 8 EMA, all at one time. Now on the weekly is where the 200 moving average is. She's sitting right on top of it right now. If it can hold this level, then we may be able to see another push up back toward that weekly 50 moving average again, and perhaps take a dance over there at the 100 moving average. but it has to hold this level. If it doesn't, then we're bound to come back down here and test the lows again. Now, I don't want to see that happen. I don't think anybody does, but it's fully possible. You do have daily support down here at 1730s, 17 flat-ish for this price to be held up on and kind of supported. But be careful. This thing can get very slippery very quick. You see how ugly that price action turned and instantly started throwing red back the other direction. Don't think it can't happen to your asset just because it's your favorite. Doesn't matter what your favorite is. Doesn't matter what my favorite is. This stuff can get gnarly with the quickness, as we all know. Dang, man. 30 minutes goes by super fast, bro. Appreciate some of the guys coming and hanging out tonight. Soda, Papa Bear, Thurman, Rob's How-To's. Good to see you. What's up, Busted? Thank you for coming by. Josh Udall. Appreciate it, brother. Bo Glenn. What's up, Glenn? Or Bo. Everford. Cheese came by. Appreciate you stopping by, Cheese. Brother Bill. Charts Can't Lie. You guys are awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys who comes through here and hangs out. Been doing this for a really, really long time. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep doing this every single week, twice a week minimum, plus one on Sunday. If you haven't done so, check us out right here, wap.com/team786. I got a special for everybody on Thursday. Keep your eyes open. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm going to make a pretty good announcement for us on Thursday. It's for the benefit of everybody, not just me. Thank you, guys. I'll see y'all then. Y'all be good, man. Remember, I should be dead or in jail. I'm not. I'm out here with you guys, so I'm going to make the most of it. Y'all be good, man. Sky's the limit. I'm out. Peace.